go.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Marty, along with
Misty.
And
hello.
We're here. Hello. How are you?
Good.
We're here for another edition of Inspiring Connections.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everyone's doing good out there. This is episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, we have a really, I think inspiring is a great description.
Yes.
For this person.
Especially for people who are starting their own business or have started.
Yep.
You know, they're just beginning their journey. And our guest has been in business for a while.
Yes.
She's handled a lot of business.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love all the tips, you know, that she gave us today.
And navigating all the challenges that come along with being a small business person and
even how to promote.
Yep.
How to promote
and
your
use social
products
media.
and service. Mm-hmm.
You know, in today's day and age.
And they'll also know which platforms they should be engaging in.
Yep. And we're talking about Gia of Gia Skincare.
Mm-hmm.
And she shared some wonderful tips and wonderful inspiration with us.
Mm-hmm. I love her products. I was fortunate.
You sampled some of the products.
I was fortunate enough to be given a goodie bag when we saw her in LA.
Yep.
And I love the cleanser.
Yes. In fact, we live in the Connecticut, tri-state New York area, and Gia lives in the New York State area, so we're fairly close by. But where was the first place we met? 3,000 miles away in L.A.
Yeah.
We also met in New York City too, but we got to know Gia through social media, and what an inspirational person! You know, just a wonderful human being, and just a great person, great business person. And so she shares some wonderful tips and inspiration for all you people that may be small business owners or wanted to start a small business. You know, I think Gia has some great tips and great information to share. So I guess why don't we get right into it, huh? With Gia of Gia Skincare. And this is what's taken from our show, PodJam TV Live, which is our live weekly video show. Every Sunday night it airs at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can get that at podjam.tv/live if you want to watch live or watch the re-airs. So why don't we get right into it with Gia Skincare. Gia, how are you?
Hi, guys. Nice to see you.
Nice to
Hi,
see
Gia.
you.
Welcome to PodJam TV Live.
Yes, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, I adore you guys. You are like my 2 favorite geeks. You know, what can I say?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take that as a huge compliment.
Absolutely.
So, Gia, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? About, I know you have a skincare business. So before we get into the meat of the questions, just give us a little rundown of what Gia is all about.
What Gia's all about? Well, you know, I have to to actually meet you guys. So I'm so thankful for that. You know, we did the New York, LA thing. You know, we're a couple jet setters here, but you know, it's funny, you know, because when you ask, you know, who I am, I mean, there really goes a whole story as far as, you know, about my business. A lot of it has to do with that. Yes, I do reside in the New York area. I'm married, happily married. I have a son, and, you know, never say never, because I told myself up and down that I'd never move back to New York. It was one of those things like, no, been there, done that. You know, I really enjoyed living out on the West Coast. We were actually living in Seattle. We actually had a very successful business in Seattle. You know, a beautiful home. And one day we just both decided, you know, we wanted our son to like start off fresh in the New York school system, you know, kindergarten. And we literally sold our business, sold our home. In fact, the family that bought our house, she wanted to buy all our furniture. I'm like, wow, this is really turning out really well. I mean, to sell a business, a home, and I mean, literally just packed our bags and moved back to New York. And, you know, it's kind of funny because it's like, you know, I've really been an entrepreneur for so many years. Mm-hmm. And when I first moved back out to New York, I was like, what am I going to do? And what did I do but open a brick and mortar store? I opened up a very unique business. I had it for exactly 1 year today. And I sold it. And it was completely out of my element, though. It had nothing to do with hair, makeup, skincare, all the things that I love that I've been doing for years, which oddly enough. But actually, the person that actually owns it now, she's one of my very dear friends, and the business has been going on for 7 years now, and she's doing well. And just to kind of give you the long and short of it, so after that was over, I'm like, now what am I going to do? And so I thought, well, let me get back to my first love, which was always skincare. Mm-hmm. And so I moved it, I started working in a spa, and I hadn't worked for someone in quite a while. And it's kind of a transition when you're a business owner and then you go to work for someone else. So that was really hard for me. But I'm a very, easy person to get along with. And, I am a people person. I love people. And I was working in the spa, and my husband would just be, he goes, you work in a spa all day, but you come home and you're so stressed out. He goes, this doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, there's just so much tension working there. And I said, you're right. I can't do this anymore. So then I kind of went through, I hate to say it, but kind of a little bit of a midlife crisis. I mean, I'm going to be as real as I can get. And I think that's really the best way, when you're dealing with people, because as far as my brand is concerned right now, I am the brand. So I want to be as personal as I can with anyone. And, I kind of went through a little bit of a dark phase of kind of figuring out who I was, what I was going to do. And then, I had some friends that got pretty sick. And then I actually had a death in my family. And, it wasn't so much of inspiration that when I started this business, it was more of an aha moment. Have you ever had one of those? You're just like, okay, you just get to a point and then you realize you're like, wow, life is really short. Yeah. What am I going to do? And I kind of analyzed everything, and I kind of said, I would rather just jump into something that I love to do than sit there and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Where am I going to be in the next 5 years? I mean, I'm not getting any younger, I'm saying, so I really need to kind of figure out this thing. And, my husband was kind of like, you've always wanted to have your own skincare line. I go, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, that's just crazy talk, my own skincare line.
What originally inspired you to start your own skincare line? Because, obviously you have being an entrepreneur in your blood, running your own business, and, you're very passionate about that. Was there kind of a tipping point as far as kind of getting into that, kind of an inspiration for that?
Well, again, like I said, the inspiration was I had been doing it all my life. And, it's something that I loved and something that I enjoyed. And I actually saw this wonderful quote about that. It's like, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it was for me. But again, it was an aha moment. I'm like, you know what? I'm at an age, blank. I'm like, I want to do this, And the next thing you know, I was literally, I'm like, gosh, if I was going to do a skincare line, I go, wouldn't I want proven ingredients that work? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't I want it to be everything that I believe in? My products are made in the United States. Made in USA is very important to me. Cruelty-free. There's so many products on the market today that people would just be... they just wouldn't even believe that products are still being animal tested in this day and age. And eco-friendly products. I mean, you see so many products that are not only in a bottle, but they're in a box, and then they have, cellophane over them. And I'm like, can we get any more wasteful? So that was very important to me. But the other thing that was very important to me is, I'm a licensed esthetician, I'm a cosmetologist. I mean, I went to school to do all these things. I've been practicing these things for years. And, I said, why not bring that into the mix? I'm a professional, skincare specialist. It's like, why not, combine the two? And then I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have products that when you think of a spa, you think of cucumbers on the eyes, you know, you think of strawberries, you just think of that kind of thing. You think of aromatherapy, you think of, you know, having yummy stuff on your face. So I said, you know, wow, I want to come up with products that smell like fresh strawberries, and I want an eye cream that actually smells like cucumbers, you know, and, you know, feels cool and refreshing and therapeutic and all of that. And the next thing you know, I got in touch with people that actually do this, because sometimes people go, do you make this stuff in your garage? And I'm like, that would be no. Yeah, sure. With them, and I said, you know, hey, this is what I want. You know, I want proven ingredients that work, you know, and let's you know, let's do this. And the next thing you know, I literally have a logo going. I have products I'm testing and a website, and I'm like, wow, this is really happening. Wow. It's like, you know, wake up. That was my wake up call. I'm like, wow, I'm really doing this. So
it's a real business now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for people who want to start their own business, what are the things do you think they need to consider before they even dive in?
Yeah, because I would
like
think
for you, like what
it's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it is a huge commitment. Like what you were saying earlier, you had to like think of the stuff like what you love, what you can do. You took school.
Yeah, she's certified.
Yep. You know, like if
licensed. Yeah.
And if you want this, I feel like I want to start my own business. What do you think should I, you know, think about first?
Well, depending on what type of business it is too. You know, I've had the brick and mortar. I've had the mobile business. I've owned that. Actually, my husband and I still actually own something very similar to that right now. And I'm actually in the process right now of looking for doing another brick and mortar. That's real fresh, and I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah, so
here.
Yeah, because well, you know, a big thing is you know, I'm a mom, you know, and then I also help my husband with his business, and you know, everything that goes along with everything, you know, just taking care of a household. I obviously do facials too. This is actually my spa room. I don't know if you guys
really
can
nice.
see that,
Yes.
but it's very nice. And you know, time is a big thing. So if you're going to go into a business, you have to remember that you're going to be working a lot, because if you want it to succeed, you've got to put in the time. You've got to put in the hours to make it work. You know, and there's been days like I'm like, oh, you know, and you know, even like with social media, don't you guys just love technology? I was like, wow, I mean, I can talk to people. I mean, like through the computer, this is really cool. And I'm like, with Twitter especially, I'm like, I'm Italian. I got lots of things to say. I'm like, you know, I can do this 140 characters. You know, actually, funny thing about Twitter, you guys, I don't know if you guys, I ever told you this story, but I got on Twitter and I was like, what is this? I actually kind of thought it was kind of silly at first. I just didn't understand it. And I like walked away from it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I opened up my Twitter account. And then cool people started following me, you know? I'm like, really cool people started following me. I'm like, hey, well, this is kind of cool.
Not too bad.
I became a Twitter ad. So not so much Facebook, but, you know, and Google Plus, I'm on that, of course. And I got a community that I just started recently. It's called Beauty Talk. And, you know, it's funny. Everybody's like, why aren't you on Instagram, or why aren't you on Pinterest? And I'm like, oh, my goodness. I'm like, I don't think I can handle one more social media platform. I'd love to, but, you know, I've got to concentrate my time on focus on, you know, what's important. So
absolutely. Speaking of social media, and we all, you know, all of us, I know we met through social media, and we're pretty active, and you were just mentioning Twitter and Facebook, and I would think it's quite valuable for businesses, and you were mentioning starting a Google Plus page and all that. Is there a particular social media platform that's your favorite that you found success with, or any tips you want to share as far as other maybe business owners that may be new to social media that want to leverage that and for their own business, you know, through your experience, anything you can share for them?
Well, first off, I want to tell you, of course, the story with me. Don't let me touch any buttons, because I had I started off, I had the Facebook page, and I had thousands and thousands of likes on it. And then one day I was like trying to figure something out one day, and then I hit the delete button and blah, blah, blah. End of story. So I was like, ooh, that wasn't good. And, but, you know, G+, you know, I was on that from the very beginning. I really liked it when it first came out, and I thought, wow, the whole thing with the Hangouts and just being a different thing. And I'm kind of a Google girl anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been using Google Chrome for years, and of course Gmail, and you know, it's a G thing. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about, I said this to my husband today. I said, can you imagine, like, if you were going to go out for, like, you know, get a job or something like that? I go, you know, in this day and age, instead of like a resume, you should just like say, hey, Google me.
Oh, totally.
Totally.
I mean, Google me.
You know what? It's funny.
It's all right there.
In my day job, I manage a lot of younger workers, and I mean, they're pretty comfortable with online stuff, but that's something I preach to anybody who will listen is it's an opportunity. You know, these online tools, you're right, resumes, I think are probably going to be out of existence if, you know, I mean, I don't see any value in them. I mean, they're just a piece of paper when you have this opportunity online to really present the real you and really brand yourself. Mm-hmm. All these different tools. I mean, you can take control of that, and you can really put it out there and really put out a record. And yeah, tremendously valuable as far as, you know, presenting yourself. Because again, people connect with you, you know, more than ever, you know, and here are the tools that you can use to do that with.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't agree with you more with that. You know, it's funny. I kind of dabbled in a little bit of advertising after I left the spa, you know, which was kind of cool because I'm like, hey, I can do this thing. You know, small business is my thing, you know, and it's like people to sell business to business. And then the economy kind of started tanking there, if you can remember. And unless you were a franchise or a pretty big, large corporation, it was really hard to, you know, say, hey, about ads. You know, I mean, it's like you can't afford not to advertise, you know, but you really can't afford not to advertise. You know what I mean? Because this is probably the best time to advertise when things are bad. I tried when I first, you know, started out, I was like, well, you know, I'm not a brick and mortar here, you know, anymore. And, you know, of course I am, but I'm not, because it's very exclusive how I do my clients and that, you know. But it's all going to change here real soon. But so, you know, I tried the AdWords and the Facebook ads and all of that. And
now do you have a favorite platform as far as advertising goes, as far as and not necessarily just advertising, but promoting your business, as far as social or traditional
you know,
media?
You guys, I can't believe how many customers I've gotten from Twitter. Aww. Twitter is, I don't know if it's because I'm more active on Twitter, because, you know, I got my phone, I can get out a tweet, you know, and, you know, I love when I can get into chats and I have time for that, but a lot of times I don't, so I can kind of just do a little interacting, and that's real important to me, because people that just broadcast all the time, you know, because I mean, when I first started social media, it's like I didn't want to be up in everybody's face, because it's one thing that I don't like. I don't like people just always trying to sell me something. You know, it's a big turnoff to me. It's like I want to get to know you. I want to build a relationship. You know, and I have met so many people, you know, through social media, like for real, like you guys. You know, not once, a couple times. You know, I mean, I was just like, and we clicked right away because I've been tweeting with you guys for a long time. So it's like, you are what you tweet, you know? So it's like, I would, you know, and your funny tweets and all your stuff that you're doing, you know? I mean, we've got our little group. Hi, everybody.
Now you just mentioned the in-person interactions. Do you see a real value in that, as far as, especially for your business, maybe gaining customers or forming those relationships? It's funny, you're hitting all the key points of what we want to talk about very well. Because
I'm like that.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the in-person interactions. You know, obviously we met you through social media. We met you in LA. We met again in New York City, and you know that's how we got to know you. But yeah, you probably see a pretty big value in that, right? In the in-person interaction.
Well, you know, nothing's ever going to replace face-to-face. I don't. I don't care what you're throwing at me, to be quite honest with you. Face-to-face interaction, there's something so real about it because it is real. You know, my business, obviously, it's like I do so well, like with face-to-face or spa parties or clinics, you know, but then I also provide a service too. So, you know, you're putting, you know, anytime you have any type of spa treatment, you're putting trust in someone too. So that's a big thing, you know.
Such a personal service.
Yeah, it really is, you know. But you know, actually, I've got some new things coming on with the website too, because I'm going to start doing like, you know, really, you know, working an audience and like, you know, if they have any questions or anything like that, you know, I do have a new product coming out pretty soon.
Oh, what do you got?
And it's actually for the guys.
Spill the beans here on Podjam TV Live.
It's an aftershave for the guys, and it's got the pheromones in it. And if you don't know what pheromones are, Google it. So yeah.
Do you know when that will be launched so that people can wait for it?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of getting this whole brick and mortar kind of thing going. So, you know, it takes a village. Let's just put it that way. And, you know, and it's underway. It's just going to take a little bit, you know. And again, that's when you own your own business. Time is a big thing. It really is. Time and money. You got to find capital, you know, to start off. And however you can do that, because, you know, it's funny. I see all these things like these infomercials, and it's like, start your business with $0 and you're like, yeah,
right.
You know, it's not the truth. You know, maybe they did. I don't know. But I've actually owned 4 businesses, and I've always had to have some cash to start. So
yeah, speaking of money and time, those are, you know, usually a lot of challenge. Those tend to be challenges for people, especially in business. What are some of your challenges that you experienced in forming your business, running your business? Anything you can share with our audience?
Especially in the beginning of a business.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Those are the scary times, right?
Well, you know, making sure you get everything underway. You know, I'm not the techiest person. I mean, I try, I get by, you know. And, you know, forming an LLC, you know, like all that kind of paperwork, just to kind of, you know, cover yourself just in case something happens, you know, because, you know, actually I've, you know, been very fortunate so far. In fact, my return policy is next to nothing. I mean, I do not get returns on my products, so I would say that's a pretty darn good thing, you know. Yeah, you know, there's always going to be challenges, you know. I've had so many doors, you know, closed in my face, but I keep saying, you know, there's one that's going to open right around the corner. I've had some pretty amazing opportunities. I can't really say who, but it's 3 letters, and it's a home shopping network.
Nice.
Very, very interested in me. And I was about as excited as a girl can get. You know, people don't realize, because that was a big challenge for me, because I thought, wow, this is my big break, you know. I'm like, you know, I'm just getting ready to go here. And then I found out that even though my product is, you know, made in a lab, and, you know, it's, you know, I mean, it's sealed, packaging, the whole bit, you know, I mean, everything's been tested, that they needed this certain bio-testing. And in order for me to sell my products, because I was going to be part of a Sprout kind of program, you know, new and upcoming brands. And with the cosmetic industry, because it's changing all the time, because there's so many frivolous lawsuits, and, you know, I mean, you know, if something was to go wrong, you know, I mean, nothing's ever, you know, hurt, you know, I mean, any of my products have never hurt anybody, but it's like they wanted, like, the proof in the numbers and the, you know, all that, you know, scientific stuff. So these bio tests were extremely expensive. And I just was not ready to mortgage out my house just so I could get all this bio testing done. And then they said to me, they were like, well, you know, Gia, we really like you, blah, blah, blah. But the only way that this can happen is if this gets done. And they also said that there was no guarantees. So even if I went through all of this and all of this money, that there was still no guarantee. And I said, you know what? Just going to find another way. You know, I might just have to take the road less traveled.
Yeah, it sounds
and
like
that's okay too.
it sounds like perseverance is a key quality in believing in yourself, and
Yeah.
you're going to run into a lot of roadblocks. And
There is a very famous designer that sells her clothes in Target that sent me a very nice tweet the other day. So that was that was kind of nice. And I also have a celeb wedding planner that's on the Style Network. I'm going to be invited on her show.
Wow,
Nice.
Gia, you're just getting it all over.
Yeah, I'm working it. Yeah.
And again, that's what you were saying earlier. Like, if a door closes, something else opens for you. Then again, that's like that just seals the deal.
Yep.
Means that something else is much better for you for whatever reason.
It's a better fit all around. Sometimes things have a way of working themselves out. Everybody's heard this one over and over again. It's like, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Well, hey, maybe
Exactly.
it wasn't meant to be. I'm just taking, I feel like, one day at a time. I mean, what else can I do? I can't, it's funny. It's like the older you get too, you start getting like that too, because it's like, I can't worry about things that haven't even happened. I'm not going to concentrate all my energy on that. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
So I just, kind of live for the here and now.
That thing about not worrying, that's a great point. Kind of staying in the present. I mean, you got a plan. But yeah, you could be worrying about every conceivable thing that comes, that could be a possibility, and it never comes to fruition. It just you're worried about nothing. Instead of being passionate about what you're doing and just plowing ahead.
Yeah, and just refocusing on that, because it's there's been some real hurdles with the business. Who doesn't have
Exactly.
My husband and I actually own another business too. When the economy is not so great, hey, guess what? It affects us, and you just try to make the next day a better day. What are you going to do? A big thing I do want to mention that when I did start this business, friends. I would have to say I've got a lot of friends. I've got a lot of great friends and very, very supportive friends. You know who you all are. And it's when I first started the business, I said, you know what? I'm going to have a party, because my friends like to party. So I got a caterer. I got a really cute bartender. I invited about 50 of my favorite girlfriends. And I said, come on over. And I had like Gia skincare all over the place. It looked like orange and white blew up all over the place. I had balloons and everything. And we just had the best time. And, I got to tell you something. Your friends are your biggest cheerleaders. They want you to succeed. They want you to do well, and I would do the same for them. It's so I have to say my friends have been great through my little journey here.
That's a great piece of advice for any business owner or for anybody. Surround yourself with supportive
awesome
people.
People that will want to see you succeed.
Yeah. Because the more you get, it comes back to you anyways. But yeah, that's important. You have to surround yourself with people that are going to support you and that are going to be part of the team.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it's like, who wants to hang around with negative people?
Right.
Exactly.
I can't even tolerate that anymore. It's like I have to just you're in, you out. I don't have time for this.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And whatever I can do in return too. I'm a firm believer in just reciprocating. It's like, why not? I know Twitter gets crazy sometimes with me, and sometimes I get so many mentions, and I'm just like, gosh, I honestly just don't have the time to go through and answer everybody, but I'll either like it or +1 it or, try to, figure something out. But I never ever want to make anyone feel like they don't matter, and they're not important to me, because they are. I have, especially Twitter, I have met people that I'm just, they're just completely awesome in my eyes. And, and just being able to have a friendship that way I think is pretty darn cool. I really think that, the universe is a really big place, and you're drawn to people that you can connect with. And I think the internet has just made that so possible.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. And I can't believe it. It's like we're 30 minutes in already. We're
Are we really?
The
Oh,
time
wow.
go. I can't
I
believe
talk a lot.
these shows are like getting
It's
quicker and
Italian.
quicker, I think, and we're spending the same amount of time.
It's because it's very interesting. It's real
Yeah.
life. We get this inspiring tips and things that we learn from
Yeah.
people who have actually done it.
Yep. Absolutely.
yeah,
Hey, Gia, before we go, we want to tell everyone where they can find you, where some of the best places to find you. If you have, any projects coming up that you
Or
want
anything
maybe
you
want to
wanna
talk about, let us know. Where can we find Gia Skincare?
Well, you can go to the web and you can go into giaskincare.com. Simple as that. I actually have a big spring special right now. Regardless of what the groundhog said, I need warm weather here. I heard they're actually suing him. I heard that the groundhog's getting sued. Can you believe that? If you go into the website and you put in spring, you will get 25% off your total order. So it's kind of a nice way to try out some new products at a really great value. So definitely do that. I've been trying to build a community. With Google Plus, it's actually Beauty Talk.
Beauty Talk.
The nice thing about Google Plus, because we're doing that right now. Actually, we're on Google Plus, and Marty and I and Misty and actually a bunch of people. I've hung out with them just through being able to do this. I mean, how cool is that to be able to just hang out with someone? So I've kind of created this beauty community. So I'm trying to get that really going. So if you want to, come into my beauty community, I'd certainly love to have you over there.
Absolutely.
And Twitter, I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm kind of a Twitter addict, so
I know.
you definitely always catch me there. You guys know that.
So people Google Gia Skincare, they're going to be able to find you. So giaskincare.com.
Yeah, you can Google me.
Look for that special for spring.
Just put in spring. Yep. And actually, it's at the checkout. We actually do take Google Wallet too. Google
nice.
Awesome.
Wonderful. I don't know if a lot of people are even familiar with Google Wallet, but it's a lot. It's really one of the safest ways to make a transaction because you can actually just use
that's a good tip.
your Gmail, and
Excellent.
and we know how secure that is. So you can just use that as well. Of course, PayPal and it takes all of that. So, and if you ever have any questions, I do have a blog too, but. Oh, my blog! I get to it when I can. I'll be the first to tell you. It's a time thing with me. But I do have a blog. It's called Ask Gia, and you can actually Google that, and I think it just comes out Ask Gia. So.
Yeah, and I think I retweet your Ask Gia.
Absolutely. Gia, it's been a pleasure. Wasn't that a wonderful interview with Gia?
I enjoyed it a lot, and I learned a lot from her.
I sure did. She's so inspirational. And just a wonderful person. And so hopefully everyone out there learned something new, and got some inspiration from a very inspirational person.
And check out the show notes for the promo that she mentioned.
Right, the special.
Yeah, and also that's where we're going to put where you can find her.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What do we got next time?
Oh, we're taking a break. For
Easter.
For Easter. But we have John Lusher soon enough.
Yes. John Lusher, who's another inspirational person from the world of social media. We got to know John very early on Twitter. From very early days of when I was on. I know you're the same way. And I just think he sets just a wonderful example for folks who want to do social media right and want to make those connections and want to establish those relationships and get to know people. And John just does it right. He shares, very generous, and just sets a wonderful example. And we're going to talk to him about social media and business and all kinds of good stuff.
Yep.
But before we go, we do want to mention our sponsor.
We have,
and this is something near and dear to your heart.
Of course.
FurrySketches.com.
It's your place for inspiration.
This is one of your projects.
Yes, it's your place for inspiration. And also, if you want a custom made pet portrait.
Custom drawn.
Yeah. they'll get a digital art. Just head on to furrysketches.com/order, and
we'll put all the URLs, and if you're watching the video, they'll be on the screen. If you're getting the download, the audio download, the podcast, they'll be in the show notes.
So if they want to give it as a gift for their friends or family, just go to furrysketches.com.
Yes. Just and you do these drawings from just a clear color photograph,
which they can download when they do their order.
Now we mentioned last week we get a lot of dogs.
And then we got a cat.
And as soon as we mentioned, let's send us some cats, and what happens?
We get like
cats this week. So
awesome.
We're getting a nice variety. So send your pet pictures to us, furrysketches.com, and Misty's a very talented artist, and
thank you.
She will produce a great picture, great
digital
custom drawing.
art.
Digital art, absolutely.
That they can turn into a digital print that they can either frame or even create T-shirts or even cards with your personal.
And we can certainly
pets.
help you with that if you were interested in. We can certainly produce custom products as well.
They just need to contact us and let us know what they need.
So furrysketches.com, if you can check that out, that'd really be good. And also, if you download this from iTunes, we'd love a review, maybe a 5-star review would be great, and
if you do give us a 5-star review, we will give you a shout out on the show.
And these are posted on our main blog, podjam.tv. So if you go to podjam.tv/inspiring connections, you'll be able to find the podcasts.
This week's podcast,
along with all the other episodes, show notes. We also do a video version, so you'll be able to see that. For those watching, you're watching it right now.
Everyone will have an option.
Yes, yes. So plenty of options there. So we invite you to go to podjam.tv/inspiring connections.
I guess that's it.
I think that'll do it, right? So for Misty, I'm Marty. We will see you next time on Inspiring Connections.